In a country where, campaign has not officially started as by law determined by the Independent National Electoral Commission, we'll be lying to ourselves to say that technically politicians and their political parties are not already campaigning. Well, they may not want to use that exact word. They say, well, they are mobilizing and gearing up for 2027 polls. But we do know that a lot is happening in terms of the big conversation regarding what will happen in less than 2 years' time as far as Nigerian election cycle, that is the general one, is concerned. The last few months, we've heard a lot about the coalition that says its own objective, its one goal, its single purpose is to unseat President Bola Tinubu in 2027. In other words, they want to ensure that the president does not get a return ticket to Aso Rock Villa in less than 2 years' time. We have also seen how much has been done within the fold of this coalition. At the point, it was about whether to use the ADC or the SDP as a special purpose vehicle or register a new political party altogether. As a matter of fact, there was a recommendation at that point in time that did support the idea of registering a new political party. Today we know better. There are those who now say, well, we are sticking with the ADC. Others say we need to look for an alternative. And there's the debate about who is going to step down for who amongst those within these opposition, the ADC. Add to that, the People's Democratic Party that has vehemently and unequivocally said it is not going to be part of this coalition for obvious reasons. Just yesterday, for example, the PDP has now decided that its acting national chairman, as it then was, Ambassador Damagun, has now become the substantive chairman of the party, and it has also zoned its ticket for 2027 presidential election to the south as well. Now, let's be clear, the incumbent president, Bola Tinubu, is from the south as well, and from all indication, there's a pretty good chance he'll be standing for election in 2027. What does all of this say about internal politics, about how political parties carry themselves, whether in the opposition or as the ruling party? Of course, APC is not the first ruling party in Nigeria. We have seen PDP for 16 years until 2015, for example. How does all of these developments define and shape politics, the polity and governance in Nigeria? That's our conversation on the program this morning. I'm joined by a man who has never hidden his love and support for President Bola Tinubu, ranking member of the APC, a chieftain of the party, grassroots politician, Chief Uba Wike Chibuna, to help us find sense in all of this, not just about his party, but about politicking in our dear country. Chief, thank you for coming on the program this morning.
You're welcome, Wee.
Let's talk about, first of all, the by-election that held the other day, for example. I know, yes, it was not 100% for your party. Of course, you're happy. The president has not also hidden his commendation for those in his party, and he also extended that to the Independent National Electoral Commission for conducting what he called free, fair, credible process. And then he thanked your national chairman because he said this is some good omen. The man steps in a few weeks later. This measure of success, as it was recorded by your party. There are those who say that in Nigeria, what the APC has just recorded as success is just a reenactment of how that the person in power carries the day, no matter what the process says.
Well, people are entitled to their opinion, but whether you are in power or not, and you did not prepare for an election, for the contest, you will lose. So the success is recorded goes to show the level of preparedness of the political leaders in the areas that the elections were conducted. That is just the truth.
What does this, I mean, all of these by-elections, what do they say about 2027? Do they indicate anything as to what Nigerians should look forward to in less than 2 years' time?
To some extent, especially in areas that the elections were free and fair, there was no, mishaps or skirmishes. It goes to show that, yes, in 2027, the election is going to be free and fair, and APC is going to win, with a moonslide, not landslide, with a moonslide. No matter what the so-called opposition are doing, we are prepared for the election.
What does it mean? Because most times when we talk about politics, talk about politicians, talk about governance, I think context and perspectives are always not very well defined, or maybe not properly defined. When you say a party is a ruling party, is it just because the party has produced the president and maybe a larger chunk of the governors? Is that all there is to being the ruling party?
No. Being a ruling party, comes with a lot of responsibility on the political leaders, of the ruling party. If you are a ruling party and you did not dispense good governance to the people, you have shot yourself in the feet. You will not, re-electing you will be a Herculean task. But being a ruling party and you are dispensing good governance to the citizens, to the electorates, they will appreciate you by voting you back to power. That is just what it implies. Not that because you're a ruling party, you go to sleep, you do not provide the basic amenities that people need. There is no democratic cornucopia in your area, both at the subnational and the national. You will not say because you are a ruling party, you will win at the next election. No. But when you dispense democratic cornucopia, that's good governance and the good supply of
I'm happy because most of my viewers may not know what exactly that word means.
Supply of good things of life, things that will make life easy, things that will make life worth living. You provide services for the people. People will be happy with your government and governance, and will be willing to vote you back to power.
Right. Let's talk about manifesto too. I mean, you are a long-standing member of the APC. Just prior to becoming the president, candidate Bola Tinubu, as it then was, had talked a lot about his manifesto and things like that, just like other presidential candidates would do. When you look at his performance in 2 years, this is more like asking you to be a judge in your own cause. Vis-a-vis that manifesto, yes, we understand the suspension of fuel subsidy payment has been controversial. Nigerians are not very comfortable with the outcome and things like that. How do you rate outcomes in that regard?
He has performed excellently well. He has followed to the letter every content of his manifesto so far. He has not deviated from his manifesto and the promises he made to Nigerians during electioneering campaign. And he has been taking them one after the other. We have seen innovations, we have seen introductions of policies that Nigeria has never thought of before. The student loan, the credit card, the setting up of regional development areas and authorities, and many other policies, aside the removal of fuel subsidy and flotation of the naira to liberalize the economy and make it very attractive to investors, which we are seeing. He has done so much well. He has followed his manifesto and has done so much well. He has not deviated from his manifesto and his electioneering promises.
So some of Nigeria's economists say that the idea of floating the naira was a bad one, but maybe executive arrogance, as they say, won't allow this presidency to admit that. As those are your sentiments?
No, they are not. Those that are saying it, I should believe, are those ones that we are profiteering from,
the previous system.
Yes. In any sound, I have listened to many, global economists, globally acclaimed economists, commend Nigeria, commend the policies of Mr. President in floating the naira. Floating the naira made it possible for people to access exchange, foreign exchange for their, manufacturing and services and production, outfits, unlike what it was before when it was closed. A manufacturer or one that is services that needs maybe $10,000 will apply to CBN for $10,000. He will get $500 or $200. Then someone that is not doing anything will call, hello, Mr. Governor, how are you doing? Please, I need $10 million. How do you want it? The normal way. His account will be created with $10 million at an official rate, and he will go to sell to autonomous market, to parallel market, at the prevailing parallel market rate.
Round tripping.
He will sit in the comfort of his room and be making 500, 600 million naira profit at his sitting. Meanwhile, a manufacturer that needs that money will not get it. And then you need to bribe the authorities of the Central Bank of Nigeria to be able to access foreign exchange. Those things are no longer in place. You apply for FX, you get it. Either you want from the official window or the parallel window. You get it. You see that the convergence rate is almost the same. So floating the naira is the best thing he has done.
Have we been able to, this is not just about your party. We have quite a number of political parties in this country today. At least I remember 18 of them contested in 2023. When you look at political parties today in Nigeria, for example, do they look like they are driving governance, or is just about grab power, whether at the federal or sub-national level, and run with it?
Aside my party, the All Progressives Congress, the largest political party in Africa and in the entire black race, other political parties are, pursuing personal selfish agenda. PDP was doing fine when they were in power, but since they are out of power, you can see what is happening there. Vaunting ambition.
If they were doing fine, why did your party become so eager to remove?
They were doing fine when they were in power.
So why did the ACN as they were?
They were doing fine when they were in power.
So now they are not.
They were doing fine when they were in power. So since they left power, because they deviated, that was why my party was able to unseat them. And since they left power, they have been in tatters. They have not been the same. It has been one vaunting ambition of an individual or the other tearing themselves apart. Aside, none of the political parties is driving towards delivering good governance, except my party, delivering good governance to Nigerians. It is individual selfish agenda that they are pursuing. That's why you see, internal wranglings and fighting and everything always.
There are people who say that the only difference between the APC and other political parties is just the fact that your party, the APC, is in power. Because they say when you look at their constitutions, all of them, one is a replica of the other. The only difference, you change a few elements here, a few elements there.
Drafted the constitution of the major parties, the late Chibo League.
Right.
He was the one that drafted the constitution, aside my party, because my party was not born then. It was the PDP, the AD, the NNPP that later become ANPP. No, the NPP, and which other one? This three major ones.
Right.
PDP, AD, ANPP. Bolig drafted their constitution, the late Chibolig of blessed memory. So it is new, maybe they made some amendments to the constitution now. My party was the one that came out, had its own constitution distinct.
But the AD evolved. I mean, part of the AD came into the ACN.
But we did not come with the constitution of AD.
So you did something from the scratch altogether?
From the scratch, I used something de novo. Yes. So that's why ours is different. We are facing issues, tackling them headlong, providing solutions. Yes, it comes with pains because to repair is not easy. Providing solutions, trying to fix the battered Nigeria, the Nigeria we inherited, and putting things in place. And we have seen things are taking shape. It's not easy, yes, but we are getting to where we are supposed to be.
Let's talk about manifesto again for a second, Chief. Is it just about the presidents and the federal government, or is it something that trickles all the way down to the grassroots? I'm asking this because most times, even with your party, the APC, which has most of the governors in the country today, for example, it's easy for people to defend President Bola Tinubu, throw their weight behind him for whatever it's worth, but they do the same thing for a handful of governors here and there. But then you still have governors who appear to be playing catch-up at best and things like that. Is it that they don't understand the manifesto of the All Progressives Congress, or is this just a question of the fact that even the manifesto itself, it's not clear enough to even follow as a blueprint?
The manifesto is unambiguous. It is the mentality of some political leaders at the sub-national level, in this case the governors,
right,
that is the issue. If you watch, we are operating a federation. Mr. President cannot coerce a governor to follow the manifesto to the letter. The governor is at liberty to do what he likes.
Within his state.
Within his state. That is just the issue. Now, at the national level, Mr. President is doing excellently well. He has even come out to, upbraid the governors that he's receiving complaints that what he's doing at the national is not replicated at the sub-nationals. That they should do more to impact positively on the lives of Nigerians to cushion the effect of these reforms that are taking place. Most of the governors are not doing it. It is very sad, but it is the truth that we must tell.
But really, what should be the role of governors, ideally, in a case like this, where the president, for example, is clear about his policy direction, all the reforms he's rolling out, for example? How are the governors supposed to rally around him, as it were, help to support that process that galvanizes implementation? What's supposed to be their role at that level?
They should replicate those policies in their states, especially the one that touches on the lives of their, citizens of their states. They should replicate, providing, infrastructure, providing security at the state level, ensuring that health cares are provided for, their states. Nigerians do not require much. Give them good road, provide hospitals, ensure there is electricity, get water. Even now, people are having their own water. Nobody asks about state-provided state water.
Right.
People provide their own water. Get them good road to ensure mobility. Provide, good schools. We have seen what some local government chairmen are doing in Lagos State, putting up good schools and some other states as well. Provide hospitals that provide accessible health services. People are not asking for much, and you see that everybody will be happy. It will stimulate economic growth. Like me now from my state, there is no road to my place. There is no road to my class. Imo State. I am from Oguta local government. I am from a place called Agua. There is an oil producing area. There is no road to my town.
So who do we blame for that?
We blame the governor. There is no road to my place. The one we had is absolutely impossible. So we come to, and when you talk to me, they say it is a President Tinubu. Is it President Tinubu that will come to fix the road that connects my state, my place to the capital?
Well, some people will say the governor probably has not done it for one of two reasons. Maybe because it's
no. There is no federal road. It's a state road. From the first tenor, we were told the road has been awarded. So 4 years ended. Now we have gotten to the second tenor, at least 5 years or about 6 years into the second tenor. That road remained like that. Others like the same thing. Yes, he's doing some roads in the city centers, but the connecting roads to the localities are not done. I am using my place as an example. There is no road to my place. Is it me, the president, I will blame? It is the governor. What is he doing about it? I am from an oil producing area. People, they poison the house of what position will poison the house of it is President Tinubu. It is President Tinubu. Is it President Tinubu that will come to my locality to provide roads, provide good hospitals, provide schools? Schools in my place are dilapidated, and you see that the same thing happens in many states like that.
But is it possible? I mean, what exactly could, from what you see, be the obstacles in front of the governor or any other governor for that matter, not to be able to fix some of these issues? I mean, I understand Governor Hope Uzodinma has started his second term a while ago into office. Are we saying maybe time is limited, or it's just a question of being overwhelmed with projects and the demands of office?
My brother, there is no impediment to doing that project. 5.5 kilometer road, the Agwejemeku road, the one from Obuaku to Izombe to Oguta Motel, impossible. The road that was constructed by Sam Mbappe,
his own road. The road that to his own place.
No. I mean within my local government. In fact, the Oguta and the two oil producing local government areas are living in abject poverty because there is that of infrastructure in those two local governments. Why? I say that the funds are not there. No, somebody should tell us.
But again, that's a bit of an irony, because we understand that on account of suspension of payment of subsidy, more money is now going to the states.
Absolutely.
You and I have talked here at some point on one occasion, and you did say that citizens must know that they have a responsibility to hold their respective governors accountable. But in a country like Nigeria, for example, where people are, if you like, at least relatively powerless because of the weight of poverty, for example, to what extent can you really effectively hold your governor accountable?
I have said it, people should speak out.
But you are speaking out now.
I'm speaking out, yes. People should speak out. When you speak out, I believe if they have conscience at all, it will prick their consciences to do the right thing. People should speak out. We should not keep silent over what is wrong. And then they use the media to come and paint a picture of something that is non-existent. It is not good. Yes, the media are doing their job, but let our governors get to work, replicate what Mr. President is doing at the subnationals. Let the citizens at the subnationals feel the impact of good governance.
You know, it's interesting, Chief. I mean, I can bring another guest here tomorrow morning, for example, and he'll say, okay, well, let's not belabor this issue. We know what to do in 2027. Let's vote out all the governors who are not performing or who are underperforming. But the question is, ironically, in a country where people also will say their votes don't count, how do you guarantee you can vote out governors or local government chairmen or even a president you think is not performing?
In rigging elections, from my years of experience in partisan politics, you don't rig where you are not popular.
So first of all, you have to be popular.
You must be popular. And for you to be popular, you must do things that appeal to the heart of the electorate in your place. You must transform their lives positively in many ways by providing good governance. So to vote a governor out or vote whoever out, you will only do that if the person is not popular, if the person is not performing. I agree with there are elements of rigging, whatever. But when you stand your ground for that, your vote will count. Your vote will count to some extent. It is sort of, even in advanced democracies, we also see rigging. It happened in America some time ago.
It's getting a bit more interesting. I mean, I grew up to know, for example, that politicians will hold several meetings, some of them starting as early as at about dinner time, running into the wee hours of the next day and things like that. I am not a politician. I've never been one. Just like many Nigerians, I'm also curious. What are the core issues discussed at those meetings? Are they issues that border squarely on the development of the country at whatever level, or they're just issues about what Chief Uba Wike will get as a politician who has helped the party, who has worked for the party, whatever kind of work he has done for the party, or are they just the issue of, okay, who gets what ticket? Just about the interest of those within the political parties?
Well, it depends on the reasons why they meet.
I see you already laughing, Chief. But it's okay. But let's talk about the president for a second. The president has done a bit of reshuffling here and there within his cabinet and things like that. Some people say, well, those reshuffling exercises were not far-reaching enough. But again, the president has the power to hire and fire. He knows who is performing, who is not performing. I mean, whatever KPIs he wants to use. Do you see another reshuffle within the cabinet coming up between now and the next election cycle?
By His grace, I feel it should happen.
Do you feel it should happen, or you demand it should happen?
I don't demand, because I don't have the power to demand for it to happen.
But you have a sense,
yes,
that there are people who should
believe they should. Yes, Mr. President, he's not oblivious of what is happening.
Right.
So he will do something. I believe he will do something about that.
Let's talk about the people and those who have been elected to serve them. A video surfaced recently, for example, of former Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State. I mean, you are not here to speak for anybody. You're here to just air your views about how you feel concerning democracy and good governance in Nigeria. Now, in this video, the former Governor Yahaya Bello is talking to legislators from the Kogi State House of Assembly, and he's telling them quite straight to the point. Look, whatever governor will do, the incumbent governor, incidentally the man who succeeded him, tells you to do it, whether you understand it or not. Nigerians have been reacting to this video. Of course, emotions are flying everywhere and things like that. Whether you're seeing the video or not, I am not very certain. But when you hear things like that, when you see things like that, what does it speak to? Can this be said to be a man talking on behalf of the people, speaking in the interest of the people, or just someone motivated by nothing but politics?
Well, I have seen that video. So if actually that video was not AI generated, if it is true,
with a big if,
yes, if it is true
that
it came from former Governor Yahaya Bello, it is very, very unsavory. It is very, very unsavory. It's undemocratic to me. If it actually the video, it is what actually happened. It's supposed not to be said about democracy. If actually it came from him. So be that as it may, there are most state legislatures are at the mercy of the governors. They are tied to the whims and caprices of the governors.
Or no matter how they pretend about it.
Most state legislators, State House of Assembly, they don't do the bidding of the governor, whether it is spoken or not.
Or body language.
Yeah, that is what we are seeing happen. That is why when any governor comes to power, he makes sure that he has a very good relationship with the legislator, so that they will work hand in hand. But that working hand in hand, that symbiotic relationship should be for the betterment of the state, not for the betterment of the governor or the legislators. Because the interest of the states should be paramount, and not that of the individual political leaders.
I'm not going to bother you any further with the issue of this video regarding former Governor Yaya Bello. For many people, their real concern is the fact that he's no longer in office. How is it that he seems to wield more influence still, having done 8 years in that state, than the incumbent, a man who succeeded him? Well, we can have that debate at a later point. But let's take a quick break now, everyone. When we return, we'll talk a little more with our guests, and then, of course, we'll bring you the next conversation. I'm going to drag you into another conversation. I mean, another strand of this conversation. Really, again, is about another video. This time, not from a former governor, from an incumbent governor. This time, is Governor Oyembanji of Ekiti State. In this video, what we aired yesterday, he's saying, telling some audience, he has an audience in front of him. He's telling them that, look, there are people in my government who receive salaries in this government, who earn from these governments. But then every time something untoward about this government is said, or even about the governor himself, these people are reluctant to defend or come to the defense of the government or the governor. And then he goes ahead to say that you can't earn from both sides. All right. In other words, you can't bite the fingers that feed you, kind of thing, that sort of thing. So he just goes ahead to say that, look, we are not going to address that issue just yet. At an appropriate time, we'll come to tackle it. And he says it's only just a few persons in this government who see it as a duty, as a responsibility to defend the government every time the need arises. Well, we've always known, we have seen in this country that once you are a spokesperson for the government, or once you are a part of a government, you have to speak in the overall interest of that government, right or wrong, good or bad, or whatever it is. But let's now talk about how we perceive service in this country, public service, that is, in light of good governance. Because everybody wants to go into politics. People say these days that it's only in Nigeria you go to bed a poor man, you wake up the next morning a politician, and you are not a millionaire, or in some cases you are a billionaire already. Do we still have service, Chief, as we know it, or is it just a matter of get there, grab power, get the money, and the rest is history?
We still have service, and we still have politicians with conscience, politicians with integrity. If you have chosen or accepted to serve in a government, let's face the fact, you must defend that government that pays your salary, that you have accepted to serve. But when you get into your closet, talk to your principal, advise him on what is right. And if you see he's not doing what is right, you throw him the towel. Based on conscience. Yes, if you do not do that and you are still in that government and you keep mute, you lack integrity. I'm a politician, I must tell you the truth. Before I became a politician, I'm a businessman, I'm still a businessman. So I must tell you how it is. If you accept to serve in a government, you must defend that government publicly. And when you get to your principal, tell him the gospel truth. If he doesn't like it, throw him the towel and leave. Let it be on record that you have, either in writing or verbally spoken to your principal, advise him on what should be done that is right for the people. Let it be on record. And when you are doing that and your principal is not, accepting it, go public. Let the public hear you before you throw in the towel. That is how it should be. But if you remain in that government and you keep mute, you lack integrity, and it is hypocrisy of the highest order.
And again, incidentally, these two gentlemen I've mentioned, they are members of your party. But let's talk about your party a little further. There are people who have formally, officially resigned from your party, and this is public knowledge, right? I mean, names are, the list is almost endless. But there are people who believe that you still have elements in your party who may not have resigned. They are still bona fide members of your party. However, they have lost trust, they have lost faith, they have lost trust, they've lost faith, they've lost confidence in your party, to the extent that it is more like one leg in, one leg out kind of thing. How much of implication does this kind of group hold for your party, especially now that we are inching closer to 2027?
I have told you time and again that I was here on your program. Those that are still in our party, be sabotaging our party from within. The reason is not born out of the fact that they've lost confidence in the party. It is because what they were looking for to get from the party in terms of appointment or patronage, they have not gotten it. There are many of them.
So they still think it might come through.
So some of them have concluded they are working with the opposition, but still in our party. I've said it here time and again. Like my party APC does not have external opposition. The opposition we have is within. Both those that have appointment with this government at the federal level and those that do not have appointment that are still in our party, working against our party.
Which is worse, internal or external opposition?
The worst is internal. Like I said, we don't have external opposition. The opposition we have is within. I have said it time and again that our party should do much, try as much as it can to weed out those people. We know some of them. We have mentioned their names, some of them. And there are others we do not know. And then I coming to, let's say, mobilization.
Right.
I lead a support group, the all registered APC North Progressives, a formidable support group of my party. And there are over 4,000 support groups of my party. Some of the support groups as well have, are working against my party from within. They see answer the names of, we are in APC, but they're working against my party. So these are things our party need to look at and work seriously to weed out these people from our party.
How much of a task is that really?
It is a good task, but it's something that can be done.
Oh, okay. Well, incidentally, there's so much we need to talk about this morning, but let's just wrap it up by talking about 2027 now. Like I mentioned at the top of this conversation, campaign officially has not started, but then you and I are here now talking about 2027. And when you leave this program, I don't know what meetings you are going to be holding and what you'll be discussing with your people about 2027. President Bola Tinubu himself has officially not come out to say, I'm standing for election in 2027, but you politicians will always talk about body language and things like that. As it stands today, is it already clear that should President Bola Tinubu come out tomorrow to say, I'm running, he's not going to have anybody to contend the ticket of the APC with him?
There is the right of first refusal. He's the incumbent. So you must give it to him. And he's a performing president. So we all want him to run. We want him to run. And no right-thinking party man in APC will want to come and challenge President Bola Tinubu. He has done so much well. He should continue.
Speaking of challenge, there are those who say that his most challenging experience in light of 2027, on the final note now, will come from the north. Will it not be living in denial for the APC to say that won't be a problem?
I said here some time ago, I don't need to say it on air. Partisan politics and the electioneering comes with strategy. Yes, we are having challenges from the north. Some disgruntled elements, let me use that language, are poisoning the heart of Northerners against Mr. President. But if you watch, he has done so many things, so much progress in the north, even than in the south. We will confront the challenge as time approaches. We will confront the
strategy.
Don't worry, we will confront the challenge as time approaches. But one thing is sure, my President Bola Tinubu, is going to win the 2027 presidential election. Landslide.
Then let me, maybe this is just going to be a bonus part of the conversation. The issue of Vice President Kashif Shettima. I know you and I talked about this a little the other time, given what happened in Gombe State and all of that. But Gombe is far behind us, and that issue doesn't seem to have gone away. There are those who say that whether or not President Bola Tinubu returns in 2027 with his Vice President Kashif Shettima is one conversation. But the real conversation is that there is serious rifts, or if you like, division between both gentlemen. I mean, principal and the vice and things like that. I mean, I don't expect you to, confirm or not confirm that. But whether or not you want to confirm or you don't want to confirm, the question is, will the Muslim tickets be a problem again in 2027?
Well, I do not know whether it's going to be a Muslim ticket. But if it's going to be a Muslim ticket, it won't be a problem because now we have a Muslim ticket.
Nobody's fighting.
Thank you very much. There has not been any disenfranchisement of anyone
on account of
religion and things like that. Then, in terms of your alleged rift between the president and his vice,
well, I'm referring to the news out there.
no, because the vice president have not come out to say he is quarreling with Mr. President, and I think
he never came out to say he was quarreling with Obasanjo.
That came out.
But that was when he got to a head. When he still has not gotten to a head,
and he has not been scenario of assigning responsibilities to the vice president. Remember, the vice president serves at the the measure of Mr. President.
Right.
Aside being the chairman of the National Economic Council, that is constitutionally provided for him as his responsibility, other duties is assigned to him by Mr. President.
Right.
And there has not been any time Mr. President failed to assign responsibilities to the vice president. And I have not seen the vice president come out to say, I am being marginalized or I have been done this or that by Mr. President. So what we are seeing is, I see it as propaganda to cause disaffection between the president and the vice president. So let's watch as 2027 approaches, how things will turn out.
All right, you and I, and of course other Nigerians will be watching in HD, maybe even 4K, as I say. But I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Chief Chibuna Obawike, for coming to join us on the program this morning. Conversation continues here on Global Morning. Up next, we'll be talking about the computer-based testing system in Nigeria, what the glitches mean for the entire system. Please do stay with us.
Thank you.